Bachelor Nation has fallen in love with Charles L. on the Golden Bachelorette. He is so sincere that even Jess Palmer has deemed him a national treasure. Now, he's opening up about what led him to apply to be on the show. Plus, he shared what he loves about Joan Vassos the most. Keep reading to find out more. Why did Charles L. join the Golden Bachelorette? Charles Ling, or better known as Charles L., has made quite an impression on fans of the Golden Bachelorette. Now, he is sharing exactly what led him to join the show in hopes of finding love again. Bachelor Nation caught up with Charles to get the scoop. He revealed that it was really his daughter who put the idea in his head. He had heard of the Golden Bachelor but had never watched it. She got him to sit and watch, telling him she thought he would find it interesting. He watched for a bit, then the phone rang and he stopped. The following day, she started up again about him needing to move on and telling him that he deserved to be happy. So he decided to apply, and then, within a few days, the phone rang and the interviews began. What drew him to Joan? Charles L. was also asked what drew him to Joan Vassos. One thing he pointed out was their age. They are similar in age and also do not live a great distance from each other. He also said, "After the first meeting, I met with Joan face to face. I realized that she's a good communicator. She really knows how to talk to other people when they have a little bit of trouble, and she will guide you. So she's a good listener and a good communicator. When you listen to her, she's very articulate." Charles also shared what he thinks of the other men. He likes them all and thinks they all have great qualities. He's not used to dating a woman who is dating multiple men at one time. However, he has confidence in himself and thinks that he has some qualities that Joan does like. As for his first prom, he had a good time. He's not sure what his friends all over the world will think, but it was a good time with Joan. What do you think of Charles L. on the Golden Bachelorette? Stay tuned for more updates and don't miss an all-new episode of the Golden Bachelorette Wednesday night on ABC. The world of the Golden Bachelorette has been filled with emotional moments, touching stories, and unexpected love connections. But few contestants have captivated the audience like Charles L., a kind-hearted widower whose sincerity has earned him a special place in the hearts of viewers. Even the show's host, Jess Palmer, has dubbed him a national treasure. Now, as Charles opens up about his journey to the show and what led him to pursue love again at this stage in life, he also shares a heartwarming connection with fellow contestant Joan Vassos. From his daughter's encouragement to the qualities he admires most in Joan, Charles L.'s journey on the Golden Bachelorette is one filled with hope, vulnerability, and an unshakable belief in second chances. Charles Ling, affectionately known by fans as Charles L., has quickly become one of the most beloved contestants on the Golden Bachelorette. His easygoing nature and heartfelt conversations have endeared him to viewers, but as he opens up in a candid interview, it becomes clear that joining the show was not something he had initially planned. In fact, Charles revealed that it was his daughter who first planted the seed of the idea in his head. After losing his wife several years ago, Charles had struggled with the idea of moving on. He had grown accustomed to a life filled with memories of his late wife and had focused his energy on his family and career, leaving little room for the idea of finding love again. Yet, as the Golden Bachelor premiered, his daughter encouraged him to give it a watch. "She knew I hadn't been out there, hadn't dated anyone since your mother passed," Charles explained during the interview, his voice tinged with a mix of fondness and melancholy. She started talking about this new show, The Golden Bachelor, and how it was all about people finding love later in life. She thought I would relate to the people on the show, especially since I had been through so much with losing my wife. Skeptical but open-minded, Charles agreed to sit down and watch an episode with his daughter. As the show unfolded, he was intrigued by the idea of older individuals finding love again, but the thought of being on television hadn't crossed his mind just yet. "I watched the show, but halfway through, I got a phone call, so I didn't finish it," he recalled with a laugh. But the next day, my daughter was at it again. She kept telling me that I deserved to be happy and that I should give it a try. It wasn't long before Charles decided to follow his daughter's advice. He applied for the Golden Bachelorette on a whim, not expecting to hear back. I thought, what's the harm in trying? You know, it's one of those things you don't really expect anything to come from, he admitted. But a few days later, I got a call. The interview started, and next thing I knew, I was on the show. While the decision to join the Golden Bachelorette was initially about stepping outside his comfort zone, it quickly became about something much more, his connection with Joan Vassos. From the moment the two met, there was an undeniable spark, one that Charles has described as both comforting and exciting. When I met Joan for the first time, I realized right away that she was different from anyone I'd met in a long time, Charles shared, his face lighting up as he spoke about her. There's something about her, a warmth that draws you in. She's a great communicator, which is something I value a lot. She knows how to really listen, and guide a conversation when needed. She's articulate and thoughtful in a way that makes you feel heard. One of the things that initially attracted Charles to Joan was their similar life experiences. Both of them are close in age, and their proximity in living arrangements also played a role in their budding relationship. We don't live too far from each other, which is nice, Charles noted. It makes the idea of a future together seem more realistic. But it's really her kindness and the way she communicates that drew me in. She knows how to connect with people on a deeper level. Charles also expressed admiration for how Joan handled the complexities of the show, particularly dating multiple men at once. It's not easy, I'll tell you that, he said with a chuckle. I'm not used to dating someone who's dating several other men at the same time. But Joan has been upfront and honest with all of us, and I respect that. I feel confident in myself and the qualities I bring to the table. I think Joan sees something in me that's special, and I hope to continue building on that connection. While Charles has made it clear that Joan is his focus, he also has nothing but positive things to say about the other men vying for her heart. The guys on this show are all great. We've all got different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, we're here for the same reason, to find love, he explained. It's interesting because you're competing, but at the same time, you build friendships. It's a unique situation, but I think we all respect each other. Despite the competition, Charles has remained level-headed and focused on the bigger picture. I'm not here to compare myself to anyone else, he said. I just want to be the best version of myself and hope that's enough for Joan. I think she appreciates who I am and what I stand for. A memorable first prom. One of the standout moments for Charles on the Golden Bachelorette so far has been the prom date he shared with Joan. The show gave him an opportunity to relive a youthful experience, but this time with the wisdom and confidence of someone who has lived a full life. I hadn't been to a prom in decades, he said with a grin. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it turned out to be a great time. Joan and I shared a few laughs, and it was a night I'll never forget. It felt like we were two kids again, just enjoying the moment. While Charles admitted that he isn't sure how his friends from around the world will react to seeing him on national television, especially at a prom, he has no regrets. It was a special night with a special woman, he said. That's all that matters. As the Golden Bachelorette continues to unfold, Charles remains optimistic about his chances with Joan. While the journey has had its challenges, he is grateful for the opportunity to find love again and has embraced the experience fully. I never thought I'd be in this position, but life has a funny way of surprising you, Charles reflected. I'm just taking it one day at a time and enjoying the process. Joan is an incredible woman, and I feel lucky to have met her. For Charles L., the Golden Bachelorette has been more than just a reality show. It's been a chance to rediscover a part of himself that he thought was lost forever. With each passing week, his connection with Joan deepens, and fans are eager to see where their journey takes them next. Stay tuned to The Golden Bachelorette to follow Charles L's heartwarming quest for love.